units called cells. The cells are surrounded by a covering called a membrane. The membrane controls what moves in and out of the cell. Cells need many
Hang on,
kind
hang on,
of
stop. Hang on, you're doing great. Doing great. You don't have to read fast. Take your time when you read. Take a
cells
breath.
need many of materials in order to thrive. They must have water, oxygen, glucose, sodium, and potassium,
Okay.
and a
Uh,
variety of other minerals.
Good. So go ahead and just stop there. Any words that you don't understand that we've read so far?
No.
All right, I'm gonna read for a little bit, and you can follow along. I'm gonna start with the body has to have a delivery system to get these materials where they need to go. In addition, every cell produces waste materials that it needs to get rid of. The body has to have a method of waste collection and disposal. Like a fleet of trucks form a transport system to the pickup and deliver goods in the world, the body has a transport system too. There are two types of transport: active transport and passive transport. All right, could you start reading with passive transport for me, please?
Passive transport is used.
Try again. Could you just restart there?
Passive transport is the easiest for the cells because they don't need to use any energy to make it happen.
Keep going.
Uh, Diffusion is the simplest and most common form of
Passive transport. Aiden, you've got to help me out here and read through some of this. So,
passive transport. Uh, where were we?
so are you using your finger to follow along when you're looking at your paper?
No, I'm on the screen. I'm looking at the screen.
Okay, it's probably easier to look at your paper. Could you find the word during on your paper?
Yeah.
Okay, could you start reading there at during?
During the diffusion process, tiny particles of the materials that need to be delivered to the cells are spread through either a gas like oxygen or a liquid like water. Areas with high concentrations of the material slowly diffuse them to areas of low concentration of the materials. Osmosis is a unique form of passive transport that allows water to pass through the cell membrane but keeps other materials out. Active transport
Stop,
is
stop,
used.
stop, stop, stop. Too much, too
Mhm.
much. You start reading fast. I know that you got to pause. All right, I'm going to start here with active transport, okay? Active transport is used when the concentration of materials inside the cell is high and the cell needs to push materials into areas of high concentration of the materials. Unfortunately, this kind of transport requires the cell to work against the natural direction of diffusion. This causes the cell to use energy. One example of this is how nerve cells work. They pump sodium out and pull potassium in. Although they must expend energy in the process, doing so allows them to thrive. Okay, let's go and read the question number one. What is the covering around a cell called? Okay, so go back to the very first paragraph. And if you need to, read it one more time to yourself. But what is the cell? What is the covering around a cell called?
Membrane.
Okay, so now we have to use a full sentence. So the way to answer this is to reuse the words. A covering around a cell is called a membrane.
Our teacher told us because this is so big, we don't have to put full sentences, just the answer.
Your mom asked me to make sure that you do full sentences.
She probably didn't hear my teacher.
Well, I'd like us to do full sentences today. It'll be better for you in the end. So I've written it on the screen. If you could write it down.
I don't have a pencil.
Yeah, well, you're going to need one. So go grab a pencil, please.
Write down the answers, then you can type them if you want. Your teacher said you can type them. Come on. You need to make sure you write them down. Here. Go.
Aiden, are you back?
Yeah,
Okay. Are you able to write it down or type it? What are you going to do for your answer?
I'm gonna type it.
Write it down.
Type.
Write it down right now.
typing.
Then you can type it later. Write it down.
Let me know when you have that written down, okay?
Just go. Okay, don't follow me.
You have that written down?
No,
Okay, let me know when you have it written down.
I can't find a pencil.
Hey, you've got to write it down, like pen something.
Let me just go check one more time if I can find a pencil.
You go back and focus.
Okay, I'm back. I got a pencil.
Okay, go ahead and write that answer down.
Mhm. I have big handwriting. I can't fit it.
Then grab another piece of paper and write it down.
Yeah, but it won't make sense.
Well, you can write the whole answer on another piece of paper. It's okay as well.
Okay, I got it.
All right, so can you read the second question for us, please?
How are active and passive transport different?
All right, so here's how we're going to answer this. We're going to go back and look to find out what is active transport. We're going to say active transport is, and passive transport is. Okay, we're going to fill in the blanks. Let's go back and look. Could you read what, let me see if I can find it here for you. Can you read this first sentence where it says passive transport is?
Passive transport is.
Can you read all of that first sentence?
Um, passive transport is.
Can you read that word?
Passive transport is easiest for the cells because they don't need to use energy to make it happen.
All right, so we're gonna say that passive transport doesn't need any energy to make it happen. All right, so we're gonna get that down. Now, active transport, you can write this down in a moment. Let's read this.
He just wants one difference, not two.
We have not given a difference yet. Let's look, like we got to read kind of a lot of this. It says active transport is used when the concentration of materials inside the cell is high and the cell needs to push materials into areas of high concentration. Unfortunately, this kind of transport requires the cell to work against the natural direction of diffusion. This causes the cell to use energy. So active transport requires energy. Okay, so this is how you would answer this question. You would basically say something very similar where you describe the energy for each of them. You can say that active transport requires energy, passive transport doesn't need energy to make it happen. So go ahead and write that down for us, please.
Got it.
All right. Can you read the third question?
Um, what is osmosis?
Osmosis. Okay. Do you remember seeing that word in the reading?
No.
Okay. I also don't remember where we saw it. So let me look real quick. All right, so go ahead and read this last sentence here.
Hmm?
Can you read where my cursor is pointing? Osmosis is? Will you please read starting at the word osmosis? Are you able to hear me? Aiden,
Yeah.
what did I ask you to do?
Uh, I don't remember.
Okay, so let me ask you something more direct. Do you want my help with this assignment?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to help you as well. You have to pay attention to what I'm asking you to do. Start reading where it says word osmosis, where my cursor is pointing.
It's just because my mom distracted me for like a
We don't have
second.
to make excuses. You just have to participate in the lesson. Osmosis is, I'd like you to read starting from there.
Osmosis is is un,
Unique,
unique
unique,
form
unique, unique. Yep.
unique form of passive transport that allows water to pass through the cell membrane but keeps most other materials out.
Okay, guess what you're going to write for the answer to that question? What is osmosis? What do you think you're going to write for the answer?
Um, I don't know.
Well, it's right there. It says osmosis is. You're going to write all of that down. That's what osmosis is. So everything in that sentence.
But
And
that's too big. I can't fit that.
you can if you have another piece of paper.
But she said we have to do it on this, no other pieces of paper.
Then write a little bit smaller.
I can't.
Well, I can't move on to the next question until you put something down for the sentence. And the whole sentence is needed.
Can I put in my own words and make it shorter?
No, it has to be this. It's a definition.
Can I just like simplify it?
By the time you write it down, you would have been done by now. So please write it down. We have another passage to get through, so we need to finish this one up as quickly as we can.
Uh, I got it.
Okay. So question four. Question four says, what comparison is made to help the reader of this passage better understand how materials are moved throughout the body? So I want you to look at the second paragraph, starting with the word the body. Do you see where I'm pointing?
No.
You can't see my screen.
Well, I can see your screen, but I can't see your cursor.
Can you see where I'm pointing to now? The body.
Yeah.
Okay. Read that sentence for us.
The body has to have a delivery system to get these materials where they need to go.
Good. Now, go down to where it says like a.
Uh, where? Like a fleet of trucks from a transport system to the pickup and delivery goods in the world.
Good. So what is what are they saying there? What's the example that they're giving?
Um,
What have I highlighted?
um,
Do
I
you
don't know.
understand my question?
Yeah.
Okay. What did I highlight?
The body like a fleet of trucks.
Okay, so which is the example?
Um, to deliver goods around the world in a pickup truck.
Where are you reading that? Okay, the next part. Okay, so let's go back and read the question. Or actually, do you have it on your paper? What does the question say? What's the question?
What comparison is made to help the reader of this passage understand how materials move throughout the body?
Okay, so the example is like a fleet of trucks. Okay, so we would say the comparison is made to a fleet of trucks.
You want me to write that?
Well, this is the answer to the question. Do you agree with that or not?
Yeah.
Okay, then we probably should write it down if it's the answer to the question.
There. That's the electric one.
Where?
Right there. That's enough.
I got it.
All right, let's read question 5. Can you read question 5 for me?
Name one type of cell that uses active transport.
All right, so let's go back and look. All right. So the last paragraph is all about active transport. You see that?
See what?
When I say that, I'm asking you, do you agree that the last paragraph is about active transport?
Yeah.
Okay. What does it say here? One example of this is, what could you read that for us, please?
Where are you? One example of this is how nerve cells work.
Okay. Name one type of cell that uses active transport. One type of cell that uses active transport is, or are, nerve cells.
Got it.
Okay. You said you got it?
Uh-huh.
All right. So flip your page over and let's read the questions on the other page. I want you to read question number 1 for us, please.
What are plants called producers?
Question number 2, where do plants get their green color? Could you read question 3?
Explain the relationship between people and plants. Why are we good partners?
Number 4, what would happen if there were not enough plants on Earth?
Do you want me to answer that?
Nope. What is number 5?
What is a chlorine past?
Chloroplast. Chloroplast. Good. Okay. So get your paper out and I want you to read just the first paragraph. Just the first paragraph, please.
People are consumers. We have to spend large parts of our days finding, buying, cooking, and eating our food. Did you ever think it might be nice to be able to make your own food like plants do? Plants are producers and perform a process called photosynthesis using light from the sun and carbon dioxide. If carbon dioxide is the gas we exhale when we breathe, the end result of this chemical reaction is sugar for the plant to eat. The plant releases water and oxygen, a gas all animals need to breathe into the air. How do plants do it? And why
Stop,
can't
stop, stop. How much did I ask you to read?
a paragraph?
Yes, is that paragraph over?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the indent where it's indented, see how the so how is indented? That's the new paragraph. So I'm going to read that. So how do plants do it? And why can't we? Plants have special structures called chloroplasts that animals don't have. Chloroplasts are round, flat organelles that are arranged in stacks called grana. These stacks are filled with chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what gives leafy green plants their color. Their main job is to absorb light from the sun. Chloroplasts can absorb every color except green. Light activates the chlorophyll. It creates an energy that splits molecules of water, separating them out into hydrogen and oxygen. Chemical reactions take place. Hydrogen from the water combines with carbon from the carbon dioxide we breathe out. Oxygen is released into the air. All right, could you read the next paragraph, please?
Um, People and plants make perfect partners. Plants rely on the carbon dioxide we breathe out, and we rely on the oxygen that they breathe out. This is one good reason for protecting plant life on Earth. Algae fields near the poles produce a constant supply of oxygen for us. So do the many plants of Earth's rainforest. We need plants in order to survive.
All right, last paragraph here, I'll read it. Conservation projects around the globe are aimed at protecting our natural resources, including numerous species of plants. Our quality of life and the very quality of the air we breathe depends upon our green plant partners. Okay. Can you read question number 1 for us?
Why are plants called producers?
Okay, so let's go back and look at the first paragraph, and I want you to read starting here.
Plants
What does it
plant
mean when I say starting here? Does it mean just one word or to read more than one word?
well, you just highlight plants.
I also said to read starting here. Does that mean to read one word or to read more than one word?
More
Yes. If I wanted you to read just one word, I would say just read this one word.
plants are producers and perform a process called photosynthesis using light from the sun, water, and
Good.
carbon
Okay,
dioxide.
okay, stop there. Um, so what do the plants produce? What did I highlight down here?
Releases water and oxygen.
Okay, so plants are producers of water and oxygen. Okay, go ahead and write that down, please.
Can I just write down they make water and oxygen?
No, no, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you write down the complete sentence?
Done.
All right. Can you read question number 2?
Where do plants get their green color?
All right. So that answer is in this middle paragraph here. I want you to take a look at this middle paragraph and see where it talks about the color green.
I see it.
Okay. Why? Can you tell me in your own words why plants are green?
It gives leafy green plants their green color. I
Okay,
mean,
that's true.
chlorophyll. Chlorophyll.
Okay, so you can say that plants contain chlorophyll, and we'll write a little bit more than that. Plants contain chlorophyll. And why is this misspelled? Chlorophyll. And this is what gives them their green color.
Got it.
Okay, could you read the third question?
Uh, Explain the relationship between people and plants. Why are we good partners?
All right, so it says in this last paragraph, I'm sorry, second to last paragraph, it says people and plant make perfect partners. Could you read the next sentence out loud for us, please?
Plants rely on the carbon dioxide that we breathe out,
And
and we rely on the oxygen that they breathe out.
that's your answer. That is your answer. So you have to write all that down to answer this question.
Can we abbreviate it?
No. No, this is the full answer. So go ahead and write this down. Everything that's not crossed out.
I can't fit it. I can't fit it.
Well, what do you think your teacher's going to say when you tell her that tomorrow or him that tomorrow?
Um, I don't know.
Okay, why don't you get another piece of paper and write it down on the second piece of paper?
Done.
All right, question 4 says, what would happen if there were not enough plants on Earth? That's a bad thing if there were not enough plants on Earth. Let's go back and look. All right. So let's see if it says it directly anywhere. So read this last sentence in that paragraph.
People and plants make perfect partners.
No, the last sentence.
Um,
The last sentence in that paragraph, starting with the
plants,
word.
we need plants in order to survive.
Okay, so what would happen if there were not enough plants on Earth? What would happen to people?
We would die.
People would die.
Got it.
All right. Read the last question for me.
What is a chloroplast?
All right. So I want you to read this sentence right here that I'm highlighting.
Chloroplasts are round, flat organelles that are arranged in stacks called grana.
So that is what a chloroplast is. You could add in a lot more, but that's probably enough.
I got it.
All right, so you have them all answered from today?
Mm-hmm.
All right, is there anything else you want us to do during today's lesson?
No.
All right, I'll go ahead and stop here.